Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Bhava Welcome to the Bhava Spiritual Mission Sunday broadcast. My name is Ingrid H. Turner. I am the founder of the Bhava Spiritual Mission, and it is my pleasure to show up here and create this sacred space to help us all live a little deeper and more fully and completely in partnership with Spirit. So thank you for being a part of that circle today. For those of you who are not familiar with us, the Bhava Spiritual Mission is a digital church. We are non-denominational. All walks of life are welcome in our organization, and we know that we are deeply connected on that thread of faith. And we're here to welcome everybody who wants to deepen their own faith and to expand and deepen their own connection with Divine Spirit. We are here to help you hook up directly with the infinite, and here to help you shed the conditioning, the gunk, whatever is keeping you from living fully and deeply in partnership with Divine Spirit. So thank you so much. Like I said, my name is Ingrid H. Turner. I'm the founder. I have Yvonne Marie here today, who's going to be joining us in a minute. She is our Leadership Minister, and we're going to talk about what Spirit has for us today. If you're not familiar with our format, I'm going to talk a little bit, share to you what Divine Spirit downloaded for me today, and give you my thoughts and my feelings and my experience on that. We'll bring on Yvonne, and we'll continue the discussion and expanding on Spirit's message. And we really want to hear from you during this process. So if you're listening now live, go ahead and leave a comment. We want to bring you on, bring you part of the discussion so that we can all expand on the message from Divine Spirit. You know, Spirit comes to us and uses what we have inside of us, uses our experiences, our perspective. So when we increase our numbers and we increase our perspective and our experiences, we get a deeper, richer understanding of the messages from Divine Spirit, and we can more proactively and concretely integrate the message and the energy of Divine Spirit into our lives and take that out into the world and be of service in that capacity. So again, thank you so much for showing up and being a part of this. Before we get started with the message, I want to go ahead and ground us in. And the reason I do that is we are all opening up to Spirit, not just me, not just the channel, but me, Yvonne, and you watching live or on the replay. We're all opening up to Divine Spirit. And when we're grounding in, what we're doing is we're matching our energies with the earth. Okay, so we're becoming very strong and solid. And what that means is when we open up to Spirit like that, we can bring through these messages in a way that is really practical and applicable. So it's not just dancing around out here having a great time. We get to do that, but then we get to bring it home and bring it out into the world, into our physical world. And that's what we're about. We're here having the human experience, a physical experience. Let's make Spirit physical and practical for us to move forward with. So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes with me if you're able to, or if you're not able to, just go ahead and listen and breathe and go through the energetic process with me. So close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now feel all of your energy pool in your root chakra. Maybe it'll feel warm or tingly, or you'll just be aware that it's happening. Take a deep breath in and pull the energy from your root into your heart. Exhale and hold the energy in your heart. Inhale and pull the energy from your heart into your crown. Exhale and hold the energy in your crown. Inhale and pull the energy out of your body. Feel it connect with divine source energy. And with the out breath, pull that energy back into your body and into your heart. Breathe in and hold the energy in your heart. Breathe out and pull the energy down to your root. Breathe in and hold the energy in your root. Breathe out and push the energy down your legs and into your feet. Breathe in and hold the energy in your feet. Breathe out and push the energy into the earth. Feel that energy hook in with the earth's core, and take a deep breath in and pull it back up towards your feet. Exhale. Inhale and feel the energy hit the soles of your feet and move up your legs and pool again in the root chakra, and exhale into your root chakra. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready. Hello, nice to see you on here. Oh, Samantha, you say, I'm in your favorite place. Yes, I'm in Fort Bragg. My beau and I ended up 4 hours away from home unexpectedly last night. We're like, we'll just stay. And I'm like, yeah, I have my broadcast tomorrow, but I have my phone, I got the internet, we can do this. So travel in God, that's what I'm all about. So thank you for showing up again today. And I hope that grounding meditation felt really good. Let's just make sure we keep our auras open to divine spirit and allow the message that we bring through to just integrate with our whole being. What spirit was pinging me about is following your heart, and I've been getting this more and more strongly since about a year ago now, since we really popped into this new paradigm of love and this incredible golden age. It's been rough, I know but with this roughness that we've been experiencing collectively and personally has been about shaking off the dirt clods from our true self, our true heart. And what's becoming more and more clear and more urgent to me as time goes on is the real need for us to buck our fears and follow our heart. And to me, what Spirit said to me today about this is like, this is the big work. This is maybe the hardest thing the Spirit is asking of us. And at first you kind of think like, what's hard about that? Like just do what you love, right? But it is hard because following your heart requires a certain kind of surrender, a surrender to the divine will. And our fear brain, our ego, is desperate for control, is desperate for security. And any kind of letting go or surrendering to the will outside of what we perceive as our own will is really terrifying. It's terrifying to totally release yourself to the oblivion of what you love. And then, of course, there's this whole, what do I love? Because we spend a lifetime enmeshed in this web of fear and conditioning and uncertainty. And we dress up our fear in things like responsibility and duty. But the truth is, true responsibility, true duty has a heart pull to it. It's what makes us feel connected to our fellow humans. It's what makes us feel grounded and purpose filled. But if you're hanging on to responsibility as a way to, as a costume for your fear of moving into what you love, the life that you love, the energy that you love, then you're going to feel dragged down by it. You're going to feel caged. You're going to feel resentful and all those things. And yet the brain still wants to be like, but. And Spirit is asking us to really start to dismantle that and to open ourselves up to our heart, to our heart, to our heart. To our heart is like, where are we being pulled? How are we being pulled? What are we being pulled? And the thing that Spirit gave me today too is, I feel like there's a lot of us who maybe are not sure what it is we love anymore. Where they say, go back to what you loved as a child. But I know for me, when people used to say that to me, I was like, I don't even know, I still don't know what that is. And so Spirit, we are given these desires. We are given desires not as a destination, but as a signpost for the tug of our heart, for the pull of our heart. When you have a desire pop into you, like, oh, I want to go to Fort Bragg, for example, we're going to go to the coast this weekend. It's going to happen. It's not that attaining that desire is what is going to fulfill your heart. No, your desires will never fulfill your heart. But what is going to fill your heart is moving in the direction of your heart, and the desires are the pull in that direction. The direction of your heart, the desire of your heart is not a destination. It's a way of life. It's showing up in what you love and how you love. And it is pulling you into greater and greater expansion, greater self-awareness, greater self-love, greater self-knowledge. And so our desires are working in our favor. But where we stop ourselves is when we inject fear into that desire. What Spirit says to me is, if you're running away from something, you're in fear and you're not stepping into what you love, even if you're going after a desire. If you're going after something you desire, but you're running away from something to get to something you desire, that's not the gig at all. It's moving towards what you love, not away from what you don't love. That's how you step into the stream of love and get swept away. And the other thing Spirit tells me is following your heart. It's the way you show up in divine service in this world. We're so conditioned. We are taught from such a young age that doing what you love is selfish. You need to get a job. You need to buck up. You need to, get whatever it is. There's a story, but the energy is the same. It's like box yourself in and be like others, because that is your duty. That is your responsibility. And so, we do that to ourselves. We put ourselves in these little containers and we struggle to conform. We struggle to be good, to be a good person by putting ourselves in these little boxes. And these can be professional boxes, relationship boxes, mental boxes, physical body boxes, buying into the mainstream version of physical beauty or how you want to live your life, the parenting box. Not to say that parenting is what ties you down, but if you're trying to parent your child in a way that is out of alignment with your great expression, your heart's desire, that's putting yourself in a parenting box right there. And it causes no end of suffering. And it is a result of this desperate need for security. The fear comes in and goes, I need to control this. I need to feel secure and I have to control this. No, I cannot trust God. No, I cannot trust a higher power. I can't see that necessarily. I can't chew on that. I have to control this. And that is a really challenging dismantling. And that's why when Spirit is calling us to our heart, calling us to be what we love and do what we love and live what we love, it is the most challenging request we receive from God, because we're like, oh, that's giving up so much, though. It feels like it's giving up so much. You're giving up control. Of course, you never have control, and yet you also have all the control. And when you surrender to your heart's desire and you surrender to the will of God, that is when you have complete command, total command of your experience right there. And it's really hard to see. You can't really get there with the mind. You have to get there with the heart. So I want to invite you to just do a little exercise with me. I want you to become aware of the energy that's in your head right now. That, right? You feel it, you feel it, you feel it. A lot of us have a lot of energy in our head. That's our stories, that's our fear, that's our worries, that's our anxiety, that's our responsibilities, that's all the reasons I can't drop into my heart. And I want you to consciously take the energy that is in your head right now. Feel it. And I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to pull it down into your heart. Take a few deep breaths if you need to. Pull it down into your heart. See what's there. What does that feel like? I want you to tell me what that feels like. I want you to describe for me what it physically feels like when you get down to your heart. Describe any emotions that come up for you. The more time you spend in this place, just being present with the physical sensation in your body, with all the emotions coming up, the clearer and clearer everything is going to get. And the heart doesn't have a concrete plan. It's never had a concrete plan. It's never going to have a concrete plan. The mind wants the concrete plan. So what you're going to do is spend more time in the heart. I see, Samantha and Jamie, you guys are having some difficulties come up, sadness and heaviness. That's the grief. That's all the stuff that you've held on to your entire life. All the conditioning, all the gunk laid on top of your authentic core. Your God self is hanging out in your heart. If you spend a little bit of time there every single day, any of that sadness, that heaviness, that stuff that you're feeling is going to melt away. And sooner than you think, you're going to start to get it. You're going to start to feel it. You're going to start to feel the pull of your heart. And then what will happen is you'll get little desires pop into your head. Little like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. What you must remember is that is the mind's interpretation of the heart pull. And it's not the heart pull. It's a signpost. It's a next step. It's a direction. So as long as you don't have the expectation that that one desire is the be all end all, and everything is going to work out fine. Once you get to that thing, guess what? You're back in fear. You're self-sabotaging because your ego is coming in and saying, well, if that doesn't work out, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be in control. You're not going to be safe. And you better reel that back in. But the heart is saying, just go for it. Just move in that direction. Move gently, gently in that direction. And as you move in the direction of your desires, your heart begins to expand and expand and expand and gets more and more clear. And then pretty soon you don't need to have desires anymore or expectations because you're living fully in your heart. You're living in God's love. You're living in partnership with Spirit. You are following the call of your heart, and you are automatically, by the nature of your very existence, being of divine service to Holy Spirit, being of service and being really happy. Spirit is asking for us to be happy. And God, that's a hard ask for most of us. Whoa, that's a lot. I got some responsibilities here. Can't go around being happy, right? But you can. And that's what Spirit is asking for us today, to surrender to our own happiness, surrender to God's will, which is our happiness. And it comes around full circle, and we become ambassadors for the divine by our existence, by our example, by our love, by our words, by our actions. It's a good life. I'm here to tell you, it's a good life. All right, that feels really complete for me. I'm going to go ahead and bring on Miss Yvonne Marie because I'm dying to hear what she has to say about this whole gig. Adding to the stream. Here we go. Hi, Miss Yvonne.
Hello.
How are you, my sweet?
I am good, but I was sitting here applying your message to my life, and oosh.
Tell us more.
Well, I just thinking about how that fear brain really wants facts now. Facts. It wants to know what's happening next because it's a big, scary world out there. That's that fear brain, that reptilian brain. But that God heart, if you can just toggle over to the other side, that God heart, it's fear and God, right? Fear and love, fear and faith.
Yeah.
So if you can toggle it over, it seems like a real hard place to get, to go from fear to faith. It's as easy as the toss of a coin. Staying there.
That's the trick.
Staying there. That's the hard part. I just noticed that every time you talked about fear, the sirens would come in. It was like you said, drop into your heart, stay out of fear, something close to that, and boom, sirens.
I noticed that too. It's like, oh, okay. It's like the brain goes, no, emergency. I was like, get out of there.
Exactly. That's exactly what I got. That was exactly what I got.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
I thought it was pretty divine timing, as we would say.
This is one of those can't make this stuff up moments. Yes.
Right.
There's another one. Wow, they're really after it today. I hope I hope somebody's okay.
I hope so too. Oh,
sending love, sending energy.
Yeah. It's staying out of that fear brain. And you know what I'm going through right now. Can I share just a little bit?
You can share anything. Yeah, okay. Any and all, babe.
So I am about to be, how do we call it? I'm not going to be homeless, but I'm being unhomed.
Well, you have to find another place to live.
I have to find another place to live. Exactly. And that's brought up a lot of fear because with that need, I've also had to face my faith at a completely different level and understand that the more I feel like, oh my gosh, I need it now, give it to me now, I need solid, concrete answers, the more my anxiety rises, the less contact I feel with Spirit. And that has been so much more uncomfortable than losing my home of 10 years.
Right.
That fear that I allow to get in that pulls me away from such an intentional relationship that I've created with Spirit. That's the part that's the kicker.
Right. And, something comes up as you're talking about this. You've had some real intensity in your life these last couple of years as you've really dove into spirit.
Yeah.
And, that intensity, like oh my gosh, my home as I know it is going away. It's going to look differently.
Right.
I get this feeling, kind of saw this image of this like pow popping open, this big cracking open.
Yeah.
When we get very comfortable with where we're at, and the fear brain doesn't really want to move from comfort. It wants to stay where it knows, even though the devil. But when you're committed to divine spirit, that simply will not do. And if we don't take action for the expansion of our hearts, the universe will force the issue. And that's what I have felt has been happening with you, especially with the home, if you don't mind me sharing.
Oh, no, not at all.
I know I've told you this before, but this like, it's really saying, okay, now, you've been to the heart, you know what it feels like. Are you ready to stay there?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy. We can get to, like you said, we can get there and then okay, let's go back. No, okay, let's go back. And then the brain kicks in and we're like, facts and figures and lists and pros and cons.
Exactly.
And yet it's time for you to move in all kinds of ways, in a literal, like physical, moving your home, moving your body, moving your heart, moving your mind. Movement is really on the cards for you and has been for a while.
Yes.
And what we all do is we go, okay, well, most of the time go, you're right, I hear that. I'm just going to sit here.
No, right.
All right, pull the rug out. And then you're like, oh,
exactly.
This is what we're doing. And it's, the other thing that you brought up that I think is really valuable with your experience, and I love that you are so open and you share your experiences, because it's the real world stuff we're talking about here. I said at the beginning, this is about making spirit practical and applicable and living in partnership with spirit, and things like, moving house and income and, kids and child rearing and all the things are very human things that spirit is begging to be a part of. And the thing that we say all the time, I'm going to say it again, is it's a practice.
Yes.
It's like you said, babe, it's like you're moving into your heart. Oh, and we're gone. And it's a practice. You just keep going back there and you just keep sitting in your heart and doing, I love that practice of going from the brain and dropping the energy down into the heart and just staying there.
Yeah.
That is really a powerful way to move through a lot of gunk and get to the core of it. Yeah. So it's a thing, and I have no doubt that your next living situation is going to be exactly what it needs for your next level expansion. Like none of us are being punished.
No. And what I feel is that I'm being challenged to step way out of my comfort zone and to take the impediments that I have allowed to frame my life. And we take those things, impediments, and we see that we've actually created a story and margins.
Right.
So once we get to this point where we're facing something that's so uncomfortable, having to find a new home during a pandemic in a very tight housing market, I can't imagine juggling all those balls without being firmly grounded in spirit. So it's forced me to find a deeper connection to function. Yeah. If I didn't have to, if I had no fear about it, if it was coming easily, I wouldn't have to go into myself as deeply to finish these really, really difficult, push aside difficult impediments that have been coming up in my work and trust in God completely. And I think that's the hard thing. So many of us are just willing to go, okay, I trust in God. And wait.
And that's the hard part right there. Waiting. It doesn't take very long when you really trust, though.
It depends on what you're doing. If you're sitting there waiting, going, okay, I'm giving it to you. Now make it happen. Tick, 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 tick.
That's not waiting. That's no.
That's not waiting. I think we still have to do the joke, God, please let me win the lottery. Son, buy a ticket,
Yes, right.
I think we have to do our part. And part of our part is, what does it take in your environment to find a new home? You have to be proactive along with that waiting.
Yes. And the big one is loving yourself, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I've started asking myself this question about 6 weeks ago. I really started this practice. It's made a huge difference in my life. Whenever my energy is thrown outside of me onto another person or another a situation or a worry or whatever it is, I reel that back in. I literally envision a cord yanking it back in, and I go, how can I make myself feel good right now? What do I need to feel good in this moment? And then when you give that to yourself, you drop yourself into your heart, because that's what this heart life is about, is feeling good, no matter what's going on around you.
Exactly.
And from that place of feeling good, God becomes tangible, and that faith expands throughout our whole life. So what can I do to feel good right now? And then you come from that place of feeling good, then suddenly clarity emerges. And you're like, okay, now what do I need to do to help with this process of finding a house? But when we're not in our heart, and when we're in our head, we're in our fear. And then we're like, what do I do? You know? And that's not how we bring about the next big thing in our lives. It's got to be from the heart, or it's going to be tinged with anxiety and fear. And however we dress that up individually.
The thing I find is interesting, even when the way you were speaking about it, oh my God, we have to do this. That's just, even those words are contractive. You can feel it in your body.
Yes.
I mean, just as you were saying it, I went like this. You could feel it in your body versus, hey, I am going to, what do you call it? I can't think of the word now. But I'm going to use social media to help me in any way possible. Yeah. I'm going to do all the things that I can do in this modern age to assist myself and make it easy.
Yeah, but let it be easy.
Exactly.
Go ahead. But you're also going to do the work.
Exactly. I'm going to meet spirit. I'm not going to sit there expecting spirit to just handle everything. I'm going to do my part here, which is getting out of my head, staying out of my fear, talking about it with gorgeous people like you and everyone else.
And our babes who are here joining in. That makes me, that expands on that message I got about desire. Desire, like being the signpost. It's what pulls us into action. And like you say, you want to meet spirit halfway. You want to meet spirit there. That when we have that impulse, that desire, it pulls us towards something. It's an impetus for action. Otherwise, we'd be hanging around, not.
Yeah. I feel you. Well, and the other thing too is that part of the action, I know you saw me doing this before I even got noticed that I needed to move. I started unnesting. It was almost like I knew it was coming. Who'd think that would happen?
I know, it's like you're psychic or something.
I know, but I had started that process, and now that I'm in it and it's actually necessary, I am so generous with what I will give away. The things that I have been told I don't need, shown I don't need, that it's time to let go of, the things that have a specific memory attached to them that I don't care to carry forth into my new life. This ability to let go has completely shifted my spiritual energy.
Yeah. That's heart expansion in a big way right there, is the ability to let go. Right. Hey, I want to bring on a couple of our babes who have left some really good comments here. And hey, if you're watching, even if you're watching the replay and you want to leave a comment, you have an inspiration, like you got a download, you got a ping, or you have a question, or you want to share an experience, leave it here, because even if we don't get an opportunity to bring you on here on this call, remember that it matters. You're having the impulse to share for a reason, and somebody is going to benefit from that. We have Miss Anna D on YouTube. Lovely to see you too. Thank you so much for joining. I love that she is following her heart as much as possible, working more on self-love and moving more from my heart more each day. And you know what I love is I saw you leave that comment like before we got into the nuts and bolts of what we were talking about today. You are so on track, and that is just delicious. It is about self-love and moving more from the heart each day. I palpably feel it when I move from the heart. I literally feel it in my chest. Like, it's a very physical thing for me. How about you, Yvonne?
I think for me, it's the silence, and the noise stops in my head. And I feel that quiet. And it can be even in chaos. I can be in the middle
Yeah.
of a loud place and have some meditation music on, and
Right.
just the head goes silent and my heart feels
Oh,
yeah. It's sort
yeah.
of like white noise. It becomes,
Oh,
everything around
yeah.
me becomes
Yeah.
white noise, but my
Yeah.
energy becomes charged in my heart.
Yeah.
That expansion. It feels very inspiring too, to have all those pieces moving around me and to be isolated in spirit inside of it.
Ooh, isolated in spirit inside the chaos. That is yummy.
Exactly.
Yeah, for me, it's like the brain goes silent too, but then all of my attention, I become super aware of my heart expanding like a bubble. And that's when I know, okay, we are taking action from the heart here. Like, we are moving with the heart. It's yummy.
I saw this picture that you just totally reminded me of that. It has these energy waves coming out from the heart, up and around to me. I have to send that to you. Maybe we get it
send that to me. I love it. I love the way you send pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that posted.
Samantha, I love what you said, Samantha. You're feeling, so first you said you felt sadness in your heart, and it's not uncommon to go into our heart and feel like what we perceive to be negative emotions. That is like that's because we have covered our authenticity and our heart's desire with so much gunk. There's a need to feel through that to get to the core of it. And if you sit with it like you did, such a strong want for love and to be loved. And I think, what I'm feeling here, sweet Samantha, if I could just tap in a little bit for you, I feel this really big, juicy heart of yours. And it feels like, the reason you're wanting this love is because you're wanting to be full of your own love. And the way that you become full of that love is to give it away in such ridiculous capacities to everyone around you. I just get everyone, just really show up and love people exactly as they are and show their love and get gooey with them. And that's going to really open you up to receive that back as well. And it may be that you go through some stops and starts and find that that's not mirrored back to you, but the more you stay in that and trust and stay in that heart and give that love out, the more you open up a pathway for that love to come back to you. And what I just heard was tenfold. Like anything you put out, you get back tenfold. That goes for love, that goes for money, that goes for inspiration, that goes for all the things. Anything we put out there from our heart, we get back tenfold. So yeah, that's what I feel. Do you feel anything with this one, Yvonne? Anything come up for you with sweet Samantha?
The wanting thing, that to me, that's contractive.
Yeah.
So how do we reframe that for her?
Well, there's a desire there. I want to be loved. So the question then becomes, are you moving away from something contractive? Or are you moving towards something expansive? How can you make this this wanting an expansive experience? And if to me, it feels like, go give it.
Yeah.
Make it expansive. Yeah.
I'm also hearing, remember that you have fertile soil. And love yourself, dig in there. I'm seeing this almost like planting bulbs is what I'm seeing. Planting bulbs and seeds, because you are fertile soil. When you have a strong desire for love, you can immediately feel that desire by loving yourself and actually attesting to the fact that you are worthy of love to yourself.
Yeah. Do you want it? It's because you've got it, really. You've got it. Yeah, that's beautiful. Jamie says, I really need to hear that message. It's amazing timing. Good. It was for me too this morning when I got it from Spirit. I'm like, oh, that's good. I always do that in the mornings. I'm like, oh, that's good. So thank you for that, Jamie. And then Anna says, whoops, wrong one. I'm on the phone. I don't usually do on the phone. Definitely a practice. Yeah. I found breathing really helps me, and self-forgiveness when we fall makes us human, and knowing we have the tools to get up again pushes us forward to new possibilities. Yeah, I love that. Self-forgiveness is a big one. What I always say in Bhava is like, don't take your BS too seriously, and certainly don't take it personally. We all got it. We're all human. We all make mistakes. Learning how to not judge ourselves and forgive ourselves is a hugely expansive heart practice. Hugely.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a person, I have shame bubble up. Shame will get me. I'll start feeling all this shame. And shame is like the monster in the closet. it
Oh,
feels
yes.
really big and scary, and you just want to hide under the covers and you don't want to look at it and you want to avoid it. But when you screw up the courage to just get out of bed and throw open the closet doors, you see it's all shadows and coats
Mm-hmm.
in the closet. Shame is not real. It is the way that Spirit describes shame to me is it's like a chemical reaction between your authentic experience and perceived outside expectations. And when those don't match, it creates this like explosion of shame, but it's not something that originates from inside of us.
I'm finding all of this to be very, very fascinating to sit here and watch, because all of these different moving pieces of trying to find the tools, trying to stay out of the fear. I feel like there's so much trying sometimes.
There's so much what? I'm sorry?
Trying. The
You know what?
trying.
Yeah. And
Instead
actually
of
that's a really juicy segue into Jamie's comment next, which I want to bring on here because we can really dig into this. Speaking of fear, she says, not letting fear control me is a tough one for me. Fear paralyzes me. So first of all, you are not alone.
Yes.
We're not alone. Fear is the bitch. It's hard. But here's what I've got. And Yvonne, I'm sure you're going to agree and you're going to have more to add to this because that's the way we roll. But what is paralyzing is not the fear itself. It is the story around the fear, the running from the fear, the anticipation of the fear. But when you're actually in the fear, your brain switches off and you act. You act. That's what happens. So the fear itself is not as scary as the anticipation of fear.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I would say that the anticipation of the fear is that fight or flight kicking in right there.
Yes.
When you're actually in fear, and like, for example, there's a lion chasing you, something very different. Yeah. You are in action, and you won't have time to think about it.
No, your brain switches off and you go. It's when we are thinking about the fear that, and that's not really fear, that's a story. And it's actually keeping out of the full experience of fear, because we're running from the fear by creating a story around the fear. So the way to conquer your fear is to sit in your fear, to feel it in your body. Again, get out of your head. If, Jamie, what I'd say to you is, the fear is going to be in your head. You're going to feel it up in here. You're going to feel like you're going to be thinking about it, like, pros and cons and checklists and what ifs and all the thoughts. Go ahead and drop that energy again. And what I want you to do is just keep dropping your energy down into your body until you feel it catch. And then you know, okay, that's where you are. And then you have to sit in that place in your body. Maybe it's your power center. Maybe it's your sacral. Maybe it's your root. Wherever this fear is stuck in your body, you're going to feel it. And you need to just drop into it and get really present in the body so that you can actually feel the fear. And you're not going to want to do it because your mind is going to say, nope, you're going to die. You're going to die. If you feel that fear, you're going to die. But it's lying to you. The mind is lying to you. Come into your body and allow yourself to feel it in your body and stay with it. Have the courage to stay with it. And if you're able to stay with it for just a few minutes, irrespective of whatever stories you have running around that fear, it will transform. It will transform. It will go away. It will go away. And if fear comes back up again, you commit to getting back into your body and staying in your body and staying with that fear, and it will go away. It will no longer paralyze you. We all have fear. We all feel the fear, but it doesn't paralyze us when we're actually in the fear. And you're right, like Yvonne, like you said, like chasing a mountain, when if a lion is chasing you, you're not thinking, you're acting. You're like, oh, and this is what we're doing. Fear is not a bad thing. It's what's negative is what keeps us stuck is the stories around the fear of the fear. Yeah.
The fear of what we fear. Yeah.
The fear of what we fear. Yeah. Go ahead, Yvonne. You got something.
I do. I'm going to get really naked here. I understand where you're coming from, Jamie. When I heard that I had to move, I had such a severe panic attack that Ingrid had to come over and dial 911. I thought I was going to die, but obviously I didn't. I'm here. So I understand it paralyzing you. But what that was a story. It was the story that I'm not going to be okay. Yeah. And when I saw how ridiculous my body's reaction was, that's where my body went. That became the impetus to finish the change, to finish the growth, and not finish it because it's a practice. We're always going to do it.
Right.
But step fully into faith, because this was happening whether I liked it or not. Whether I fear it or surrender, it is happening.
Right.
And staying in that place where I allow it to paralyze me does not serve me.
No.
I have to have faith.
Yeah.
And I think that's the lion right there. When you get served that kind of notice, if you get paralyzed, your friends are going to have to come bang on doors and the ambulance is going to have to come get you. That does not help you run away from the lion. That doesn't help you find a place to live. It doesn't put
you.
Exactly. It doesn't put food on the table, and it's not fun. So there's a way. There's a way to overcome our fear.
Yeah. Beautifully put. And you know what? I love that you shared that, because that is a real world extreme example. And I was there for it, about fear, the mind paralyzing you instead of just letting yourself feel the fear and let it run through you. And you have done that since. I've seen you just like, oh, okay. So again, it's a practice. Yvonne isn't over there beating herself up because she had such a severe panic attack, that she had to go to the hospital. She just went, okay, I did that. Let's try the other way now. That didn't work for me. Let's try the other way. And I got Jamie here saying, I'm dreading that. You're dreading going into your body, but I have faith in what you were telling me. I'll do this. Yes. And Jamie, let us know.
Good job.
Let us know how it goes for you. Okay. We want to know. We care. We really care about your experience and what happens there for you. So, and then beautiful Samantha came on. Thank you so very much, ladies. I cannot tell you how I desperately needed your uplifting messages today. Whoop, whoop, God's coming through. I have been through a lot lately, but trying my hardest to start what seems to be a small step with some self-love and actually singing love songs to myself. Oh, girl, you are on it. Yeah. I may not feel it yet, but I'm kind of doing a fake it till I make it. And you ladies help me realize what I need to do in the next step to healing. Yeah. Well, you know what? You do fake it till you make it. Let's just be honest. And then you're like,
I have to say something to that, Samantha.
Go ahead.
Please Google polyvagal theory when you're done. You are calming your vagus nerve with that singing or humming. So, for example, I have severe anxiety. I don't just have, as you know, Ingrid, I have very severe anxiety. But if I have an anxiety attack, not quite as severe as the one you witnessed the other day, I can sit there and hum.
Yeah.
And that will help it dial straight down. So you're doing the right thing instinctively. Good on you.
Yeah, you are. Good. Follow that intuition. And you know what, Samantha, that's a reminder that you can trust yourself.
Yes,
and that's the other thing, just kind of circling back to our heart expansion. When you fall into your heart and you live from your heart, following your impulses and your joy and allowing your heart to expand, this magical thing happens where you just trust yourself. I'm having the weirdest experience on that note. I have to tell you, this is just so nuts and bolts about what I'm talking about. Thank you, Spirit. I have had my whole life, I've had this terrible phobia of heights, really debilitating. Like if I'm on a high place, I can't get like more than 5 feet closer to the edge because I just lose it. When my son was growing up and he'd like get close to the edge of something, I just lose it, But so of course, it's like, and I noticed the other day I was at the river, at the Yuba River, and there's that. For those of you who aren't familiar, there's a bridge. There's a bridge that you can lean over and you can look at the water. And I found myself leaning all the way out to look at the water and kind of see underneath the bridge, and I was like, where's my fear of heights? And I realized what I got in that moment was you trust yourself more. Mm-hmm. My fear of heights was because I did not trust myself in my life. And as I trusted myself in the moment, I trust myself on high places. I trust myself not to fall off. Right. Like my footing, I know where my footing is. I know where my body is, and it was just such a concrete, physical, example of what happens when you live in your heart and you begin to trust yourself and the possibilities that open up for you. I mean, I can't get to the edge of anything. So what was I missing out on? Possibly some really cool things, right? I mean, I'm just saying, and now I get to see under things, and it was just really cool. It's like, whoa, mind blowing.
It is, and I know it happens for a lot of us because those fears like that, those anxiety-based fears, they're kind of like walking around with blinders on. We
Yeah.
get just a small view of the world because of our fear.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to live like that.
No, me neither. No. I want to be all ballsy about being in high places. Like I want to go mountain climbing.
There you go.
Have an experience.
There you go.
We have. Go
Yes.
ahead.
No, it's really not that. I was just going to say that we have this instinctive, whatever, put a word in there, words are hard, to hide our wounding. It's just like an animal will hide that it's wounded. And I think that's something that we need to break away from in our culture, because look at how important it is that we're talking about this. We're talking about our wounding. We're sharing it. Other people are getting understanding from it. And I think it's okay that we show each other when we bleed. It's okay to ask for help.
Absolutely. Creating a culture of service and community and unity is what this new paradigm is all about. So getting naked on screen, it's like, that is what we're about. And that's the power of community right there. The power of community is you realize I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. And I have support through this. And then, oh, look, that person is doing it. So I know I can do it too. I can live my best, most authentic life, not their best, most authentic life.
Exactly.
Your best, most authentic life. Oh, darling, that feels like a really good stopping point for me. How about you?
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, this feels really juicy. I'm so grateful for you, Yvonne, and I'm so grateful for everybody who has jumped on and created this sacred container with us. Thank you for sharing your experiences, for getting naked and vulnerable and allowing us to do the same. And I'm so appreciative, and I'm so happy to be in Fort Bragg. I'm looking at the ocean and I'm talking to you. And it's great. It was just this impromptu, we're just going to go for a drive to Bodega Bay, and it ended up 100 miles north in Fort Bragg. And then we're like, we don't want to drive home. Let's get a hotel room. And I'm like, I had this fear that was like, oh, but I have to do my broadcast tomorrow. I need like my computer. I need my headset. And then I was like, I have my cell phone and my headphones. It'll be fine. And this is like the best broadcast ever. So yeah.
I love how that works.
Oh, by the way, Anna on YouTube says, Yvonne Marie, sending you a miraculous outcome. Much love.
Thank you.
Boom, baby. Yes. All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in. Before we sign off, I do want to share that the Bhava Spiritual Mission, we're here to help you connect with the infinite, and we're here to be ambassadors of divine love and helping ourselves and you live in partnership with spirit. If this has been valuable to you, please give our pages a like, subscribe to our channel, and share out this video to who you think would be helpful. You can go on any of our pages and see lots of older broadcasts. The messages are all evergreen. Okay, so it's not tied to any one week. It's about what's coming through, and you see it when you need to see it. So thank you, and we appreciate your sharing, liking, and commenting to help spread the message out on social media. If you're showing up every week and this is really valuable to you and you want to support our mission, you can donate to our church. Just follow that link on your screen. It's also in the description of the video, bit.ly/donatebhava. You can do a one-time donation, or you can set up a recurring monthly donation. Any little bit really helps us, because there are hard costs to what we're doing. And the more support that we bring in, the wider we can spread these messages of love and strength and authenticity and unity. So thank you very much for your contribution. And then finally, we do have openings for our ministry. If you would like to join our mission, you can email me, Ingrid@bhavamission.org, and we can have a conversation. And if it feels like a really good fit, you can interview with our board, which is Yvonne and our sweet Ian, who's not on here today, but he's great. He's probably going to watch the replay later. And see if this feels like a good fit. Our community is a healing community, and it is a training community. So we are about helping you heal at the deepest levels and get rid of your conditioning and BS. And we all got it. So, there it is. But in our community, it's what we're committed to. And then we help you hone in on your connection with divine spirit and find your particular spiritual gifts. And if you really catch on fire in the Bhava mission, you can join our ordination program, which is where we, you start doing what me and Yvonne do, which is taking out the message of divine spirit in your own words, in your own voice, on your own platform, and spreading out as a Bhava minister through the Bhava Spiritual Mission. So, did I miss anything, my sweet love? I think I got it.
Can't think of anything you missed. You hit it all.
Oh, I hit it all. Damn, I'm good. Well, Annie, I love you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining again and being a part of this. You are amazing and wonderful. We adore you. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up, and we'll see you next week. So typically we do 11 a.m. We did 10 a.m. today, a little bit hour earlier. I'm actually sort of considering changing it to 10 a.m., but I don't know. You tell us if that's a good idea. I know. Oh. So like, it's a thing in Bhava. Like, I don't do anything before. But I kind of like the way 10 a.m. feels. So I don't know. We'll talk about it.
For 10 a.m. since forever.
That's true. Okay, you win. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. But 10 a.m. feels pretty good. But okay. So thank you all so much again. Love you madly, truly, and deeply. Oh, Ramen Harp jumped on. He said, I like 10. Okay, so yeah. Robin's like,
there you go.
Oh, you're just on Yvonne's side. Okay, that being said, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again next week at 10 or 11. We'll let you know beforehand. Bye. All.
Bye.